Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Leeds United 1, Everton 0. Leeds getting the better of tonight's dreadful game at Ellen Road. What a start to the Premier League season. Yeah, crap, as I've already said in my instant match reaction video, which if you haven't watched, I think you should go and watch it after this. Go when I finish this, just go and watch that. Let's get into it. Jordan Pickford only had to actually make 2 saves, and I think one of them was after they'd gone 1-0 up. Yeah, I mean, some of his kicking in the first half wasn't great. Unlucky not to get the penalty. He actually ran 5.7k tonight. How does a goalkeeper do that? I don't know how a goalkeeper runs 5.7k. But yeah, his kicking wasn't great in the first half, and that would have been helpful maybe to get us out of some of the positions we were in, not being able to get the ball up front. But I'll give him a 6.5. Not much else going on there. Jake O'Brien, who was one of our sort of better attacking players, which shouldn't be the case. I get why Jake O'Brien plays right back, and I don't really have an issue with him playing right back. But we have to get a right back. Like, that's just a simple fact, isn't it? Because when he actually does get forward and he does get into the final third, there's just not enough quality there. Because he's a centre back. He's doing really well, but he's a centre back. And he needs to be playing as a centre back, not as a gallivanting right back, where we need to have real quality if we're going to do anything this season. Yeah, wasn't for the want of trying, but ground duels only won 3 out of 9. He did win 4 of his 5 aerial duels, which you'd expect him to. But yeah, again, I don't really want to have a go at Jake O'Brien, and I'm not going to have a go at Jake O'Brien because he's a centre-back playing a right-back who finds himself at the edge of the opposition's box. And by the way, he ain't terrible at doing that job by any means, but I would just really like Everton to buy a right-back because I don't want to be watching a player who with its square pegs and round holes anymore. I just don't believe in a Premier League era now. And I know it's difficult for us because our squad was cut to bits and there was a lack of quality. But I just believe that you need 2 players for every position. Not players who fill in, not players who can come in and go over. Because when you take a player from another position like we have done tonight, like taking James Garner out of midfield, that leaves something in midfield. Doesn't matter whether you think James Garner's good or not, whatever, I'll come to James Garner in a sec. Jake O'Brien could have played centre-back tonight and could have maybe have done a better job than Michael Keane. But a right-back is supposed to play right-back. And a left-back's supposed to play left-back and centre-backs. And I just think the Premier League is just past this filling in nonsense that we as Evertonians are just so used to because we've never had squads. And we have to get past that. So, Jake, I'd give a 6 for 6, maybe 6, maybe I'll give him a 6. And I'm being nice. James Garner on the other side, really difficult for him tonight, playing as a left back when he's not left-footed, and it's that. I mean, the manager is he just done with Dwight McNeil? Does he just think Dwight McNeil's just not even worth playing left back for him? Because you would have thought that Dwight McNeil playing left back would have been the sensible thing. But he put James Garner there, which is I found that really interesting. I thought he really struggled the first 20 minutes. They really did get on his back, really tested him. But I think once he settled down, he did all right. Defensively, he did all right. Like, he never got forward or anything. But he did all right. I think there's an idea of him playing high to sort of try and keep Nonto like drawn back, but it just didn't happen. So I think once he got past the first 20 minutes, I thought he was okay. I thought he did okay. Not amazing, but for a centre midfielder who's not left fit to play left back, I don't know whether he's ever played left back before. But he did all right. Wasn't brilliant by any means, but he did all right. Won 2 of his 4 duels. Lost his only aerial duel. Again, massively unlucky with both of our left backs getting injured. And even our left-sided centre-back being injured. You know, Branthwaite could have even played there, I suppose. Or Patterson could have played there even. Or whatever, you know. But I would have certainly thought he would have played a left footer. That being Dwight McNeil there, but I don't know. Don't know what he's. I mean, he didn't even bring Dwight on, so I don't know what's going on there. Whether he just doesn't want him or there's a fitness issue or whatever, I have honestly no idea. And no one's going to really ask the manager that, are they? So, James Garner I'd probably give a 6-2 just because basically. Just because he was out of position and I thought he did all right after the first 20 minutes. James Tarkowski, who obviously conceded the penalty. I thought both centre-halves were fine. I thought Tarky had a bit of a dodgy first 10 minutes in terms he just kept on giving the ball away while we were playing it round the back. He just kept on giving it away. But I think once the craziness settled down a little bit, thought he was fine. He won 4 out of 4 aerial duels, only 3 of his 8 ground duels. But I thought he was all right. Once it settled down, I thought he was fine. I thought he was very unlucky with the penalty. You know, as he said, he's leaned. It's took a deflection. I personally don't think it was a penalty. Other people will have different opinions, of course they will. As I said, he looked a little bit slow. Again, this is a guy who's not had a full pre-season, didn't have a full pre-season. So you're getting up to speed as well whilst the season. I think that seems to be the case for a few of our players. They're getting up to speed whilst the season's on. It seems to happen every year. So yeah, Tarky. As I said, I thought I just didn't see Leeds scoring towards the end of the game. I didn't see them. I just didn't see it happening. Just didn't think they had enough quality. I think our back line is too. I think it's too. Even though it was weak tonight, it's still a good unit, and I just didn't see them scoring, which is my own fault. I shouldn't. Why, you know? Yeah. So Tarky, I would give a. I'd give a 6.5 for tonight. And Michael Keane was all right as well. Like nothing. Couple of moments maybe you could say, oh, could have done a bit better there or could have closed down a bit faster. But I thought Keane was fine. Didn't really think he looked like he, you know. You want to, I suppose you want, you might, cause a few problems. But I thought he was fine. I thought our whole back line was fine tonight. As I said, I just didn't think Leeds were going to score once we got out the first half. I thought, just didn't think, and that's why the penalty feels like so much of an injustice. Is that I just didn't see them scoring whatsoever. Really didn't. So Michael Keane, I'd give a 6 for tonight. Into midfield, Tyrone Abunam. I don't think he's. I don't know. I think I've said the same thing about him for a while, and he'll only improve by playing games. So there's no, I think he will improve with games of football. I just think that he doesn't always see the full picture of the game. And I said that last season, and I think that's just experience. He did a distance covered only 8K. Our defenders, most of our defenders did more than that. He was obviously sitting in with Idrissa Gueye with Dewsbury Hall ahead. 82% pass accuracy, won 3 of his 6 ground duels, only lost his area deal. Again, I just thought he was and I'll probably say this about all of the midfield, I just thought he was a little bit soft. I just thought they got the better of him physically. Really. I just thought he got the better of him. And we never really got going in the midfield. Often it seemed really the whole of the midfield just seemed really loose and not connected, if that makes sense. Just not a unit. And obviously it's not a midfield. That's the first time that midfielders played together. Obviously Tinnerman will have played with Idrissa Gueye last season, but adding Dewsbury Hall to it. And who knows how late that decision was made on James Garner playing left back. But Tim, still think he's got a lot of work to do, and I think if Everton were to get another midfielder in, I think Tim, with having Garner in there, James Garner, I think Tim Irbunam would obviously drop down the pecking order. Would that be enough to maybe push him out on loan? Well, no, not really, because I just don't think we have got the players to do that. But I think he just has to toughen up. But I'll say that about a lot of our players tonight. So Tinner Irbunam, I would say 5.8. Idrissa Gueye, maybe not his best performance, certainly not with the ball when it mattered. Excuse me. A couple of, his pass accuracy was 85%, so he's not. It was just a couple of moments, wasn't it? And he got an opportunity to get a gate shot off in the first half. It didn't happen. Put it over in his traditional place. But I just didn't think Idrissa was on it tonight either. Just as I said, there's games where you just see him and he's all over the place and he's putting out fires, and he's where other people are having bad games, he isn't. And I don't think he had a bad game. I just don't think he had a good game. There is a difference. I did see some people absolutely slagging him off, but I wouldn't go that far. I just don't think he had a good game. But as I said, I don't think he had a bad game. So Idrissa, I would give a 6. Dewsbury Hall. Again, no, the lad was trying to be progressive. The lad was trying to be brave in terms of on the ball. He got round the pitch. He ran 11.3K in the 90 minutes. 79% pass accuracy. His set pieces weren't great. But his passing was fine. Some of his passing was fine. Again, just a little bit soft for me. Let them dominate them, I think, a little bit. They just hunted in packs and we didn't. So, again, I wouldn't say that midfield was so disconnected, as I said. It was unfamiliar with each other, not played together. Not the best place to play your first game. Again, this is why people talk about pre-season. This is why people talk about but they talk about, getting the team in as early as you can. That's just something that wasn't going to happen for us this year. So still a lot to come from the lad. That's his let's be honest. That is his debut, isn't it? His Everton debut. Played one game against Roma. tonight was his debut. It will get better. We need to try and get a settled midfield. We need to get understandings. We need to get players who know what each other are doing tonight. It just didn't work tonight, and it just ended up being a dreadful performance. So, Dewsbury Hall, I would give 6 for tonight. Carlos Alcaraz, I thought Carlos Alcaraz started well, and I thought in the first half he was the only player we had who was trying to get on the ball. He was the only player we had who was trying to break forward. He was the only player, but every time he did it, it was quite loose, heavy touches. And the irony is, the second half, he started to get more on the ball, and he got worse. His touch was, yeah. I mean, he had the best chance, Everton chance, I would say. Keeper made a good save. His touch was just heavy. He got a booking for something so stupid. But he just, I just think, as I said, I thought he had a good first half, but the second half, it sort of drifted away from him. He was trying to do things, and it just wasn't coming off. And it's just, again, maybe not being just not ready for the fight. I don't know. It's a difficult one. So Alcaraz, I would give a 6. Njai did absolutely nothing in the first half, and then in the second half got a couple of moments where had the ball and nobody was supporting him. He was trying to. There was one on the left where he picked the ball up and he got about 4 around him, and in the end he just squeezed them out. I mean, you could argue that maybe it was a foul. There was certainly a foul on him leading up to the penalty they got, I thought. But he just wasn't getting enough space because there was no fluidity because James Garner wasn't going forward. And then he's gone over to the right and he hasn't done it much there, and he's got Jake O'Brien. For a wide play in this team, it's hard if your fullbacks are not fullbacks. You're terrified of losing the ball, so then you're terrified of being brave, I imagine. But yeah, again, not enough created in the final third. So Jai, I'd give a 5.5 to. That's probably being harsh, but didn't do enough for me. And then Beto, who, wasn't great, was he? He had no shots on target, no shots off target. He had 9 sprints. He had 22 touches of the ball. He won 6 out of 14 aerial duels. He didn't have a good game, Beto, did he? He didn't have a good game. Let's be honest. He did not have a good game. In the first half, it was like there's no outball because he wasn't making anything stick whatsoever. It didn't really improve in the second half. There was none of what we saw maybe towards the end of the season where he was getting the ball, being strong. To be fair to the lad, a lot of the balls he was getting were in the air, were just in the air. And what do? You can win the header and there's still no one around him. So it wasn't a good night for Beto. I don't think it improved much in the second half. He was isolated, but also in his own play, he didn't add anything. He didn't keep hold of the ball. He didn't pin centre-backs. He was, in terms of a performance, it wasn't a good performance. I mean, it was quite dreadful, to be fair. So it took me back. It took me back to centre forwards in the first half of last season when they just completely isolated. But I don't know. You've got to make something work. You've got to make something stick. You've got to make a different run. You've got to pull into the channels. You've got to come short. You've got to ask for it. I didn't see any of that from Beto tonight. I thought it was. I thought it was a very, very poor performance. He's not really done anything pre-season of any note, and it didn't improve tonight. To be fair, it was very, very poor. So Beto, I would give a 4 for tonight. The subs, obviously Jack Grealish came on. I was surprised that he didn't start. I put him in my starting 11 team, but listen, the manager knows how fit he is, and he didn't play any pre-season games or anything, so maybe he's just found that he was nowhere near fit. Come on for the last 20 minutes. 15 touches of the ball, 80% pass accuracy. Come on the left every time, obviously cutting in. Won a couple of fouls, which is what he became, synonymous for at Manchester City, winning a lot of fouls. Difficult for him, very, very difficult for him to come into a game at that stage with maybe his fitness. It's going to probably build up over the next couple of weeks. They'll know how fit he is, so there's no point but moaning about if he's not starting games or how long he's getting in games. They're probably just going to build it up over the next 3 games going into the international break, and then maybe give him like a little mini pre-season. So we'll see. No, now you'll probably start on Sunday, knowing that. But little flashes, but they crowded, very much like Njai over there, they just crowded him out. So very, very difficult for him. I'll just give him a 6 because I'm being nice. And Tieno Barry, who came on very, very late, to play 12 minutes, suggests the manager doesn't really maybe trust him in a game like that. I mean, I don't know how he could have done any worse than Beto. I really don't. But maybe at 0-0, the manager thought he was going to eke out a point tonight. And it would have been like one of those really hard-fought points. It wasn't to be, obviously. And that's maybe why he's kept Barry off the pitch for so long. But he brought him on and it didn't really do anything as such. 3 touches of the ball. 1 pass. 1 accurate pass out of 2. So 50%. So difficult to give a score to him. But he's another one who's going to have to... We're going to have to give him time, aren't we? We're going to have to give the lad time. So... No, I'm not chatting shit, am I? If he's not played a pre-season game, then he mustn't be fit, must he? The manager's protecting the player. Jesus Christ. Honest to God, people are thick. If he hasn't played a game of football in pre-season, then he's clearly not fit enough to start a game, is he? And he'll... Oh, honest to God. The manager's just protecting him. So... We'll see what happens, but yeah, Barry. I don't know. I'll give Barry 3 touches of the ball. Anyway. Disappointing defeat. We'll move on. We will move on to Sunday. Tough game. Brighton are a good side, but we've got to be stronger. We have got to be stronger. We've got to be more up for it. We've got to, suppose, our atmosphere's got to be like that, and our players have got to react in the same way. Simple as that. Yeah. I mean, I did in my other video about the manager. Not sure why I didn't bring McNeil on. Not really sure at all. But tonight was just dreadful. It's dreadful. I hate starting seasons. It's just horrible to watch us play like that. It sucks all the life out of you, doesn't it? It really does just suck all the life out of you. Do you know what I mean? You go into the season with all the optimism in the world, and it just gets knocked out of you. Everton have just got to go and buy players. It's as simple as that. Everton have just got to go and buy players. They've got to get 2 or 3 new players in that team, not in the squad, in the team. One for me is 100% got to be a right back. One is 100% a right midfielder. One maybe is a centre midfielder, and there's got to be another centre forward because I just can't. I'm not going to hang my hat on Beto or Barry. So maybe someone with a little bit of experience. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Gotta have some new players into the squad. Got to make that squad better. Can't have 2 goalkeepers. Can't have young kids who shouldn't even be at the club. Be supposed to be leaving the club and they're being needed to sit on the bench. Yeah. There you go. Make sure to check out my instant match reaction if you haven't already. Make sure to check out Baz's videos as well. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock and we'll be doing the final word as well. So see you all later.